it down.
Why?
You're about to start a good one.
I'm technically smoking the same thing.
No.
To Cigars Daily, it's the same thing.
Yeah, but he was wrong.
I know he was wrong.
That's an El Huense. This is not.
This is an El Gugu, and that's not an El Gugu.
No, this is not an El Gugu. This is the Wiseman, which is the Maduro. El Huense means the wise man anyway.
I'm feeling very wise today.
Put the El Gugu down. Put the El Huense down. We're going to do this review now.
I can't.
Put it down.
You're going to waffle on for like 8 minutes.
Put it on. Put it down.
Put it on.
Put it down.
Put it on.
Put it down.
Put it on.
Dickhead. Put it down.
Damn it. Such a good cigar. Cock.
Well, g'day, mate. My name's Dave.
And I'm Brad.
And this is a Traveling Brothers Cigar Review. And today,
It is today, yes.
actually, you already know what we're going to smoke because I'm going to put what just happened in as the intro.
Dick.
So, Brad, we're going to smoke the Wiseman, not to be confused with the El Huense. Different cigars.
You're not worthy of this. You're not very wise. You can go smoke something else. I'm just kidding. That's not nice.
That was a bit harsh.
That is very
That was a bit harsh. We've got an audience over here.
Why do we have 3 cigars?
Well, because I was hoping our wife would join us for this one.
You said our wife?
Our wife. Sometimes I wonder. My wife, Sally, would join us with this
Why
one.
would she be joining? Why did I show up with 3 cigars today? Tell the story. Tell our traveling brothers and sisters how we have opened the doors and minds and palates to a sweet-only cigar smoker.
Let's get these cut and lit,
Breaking through L'chaim.
and let's pour a whiskey. I'm having trouble with words today.
That's just normal, actually.
Is it?
Yeah.
Really?
You sound like you're underwater.
Right.
Yeah. The first step is admitting. It's pretty normal. I know what you said. This is High West whiskey. Yes, it is.
High West whiskey. That's what we're gonna.
We're gonna smoke that. Smoke them if you got them.
No edits.
Disclaimer: do not use a butane torch on the whiskey. Not good.
All right, I'm gonna pour myself some, and you can go without.
Why?
Because I'm just mean like that.
Yay.
So High West. Good on you. High West whiskey, double rye. We're drinking. Oh my goodness! Should I even be doing this today?
Yes.
You just want all the edits.
Smoke them if you got them.
Beautiful bottle.
That should be the intro. Smoke them.
beautiful
smoke
bottle.
the whiskey.
It's got like a bubble effect.
Not waiting for you.
Have you had this before?
I've had it all the time.
You've had it all
You know,
the
the
time.
first time I had that beautiful
Just put
whiskey
that there.
is Yasser from the lounge. Always frequent your local lounge, everybody. Yasser brought that down when baby Alex was born, and I got to sneak out, go back to the lounge, and Yasser gave me that bottle. The same.
Hang on, you snuck out of the maternity ward and
With
snuck away?
permission, I had to go walk the dogs.
So you didn't really sneak. You were told to get out. Come on, let's be honest.
You're probably
You were
right.
told, get the hell out of here. I've had enough of you. Is that what you were told?
I was told.
Did you get told, this is all your fault? This is all your fault?
I snuck out with permission to walk the dogs, have a little whiskey, and smoke a box of feral pigs down at the lounge.
Wow, these are good. So, getting back to what Brad was saying about the third cigar, he brought that here because my wife, as you know, smokes Drew Estate everything. We'll just let Brad have his moment.
You know, after a long day of working for the man and you're just over broke, it is nice to sit down, light a beautiful cigar, and drink some beautiful, smoky, sweet bourbon, and then just everything relaxes away.
It's definitely good. So
It's
we
really
were
nice to do it by
we
yourself.
were relaxing away on the weekend at our local lounge, where one of the patrons had decided to. That's a client. That's a customer. Patron. It's Teco. English word for customer. You're not paying any attention at all, are you? And he decided to set up a grill in the car park. We sat around and we had sausages and hamburgers and we smoked
Impromptu
cigars.
barbecue.
Impromptu barbecue at the Cigar Lounge. Anyway, my wife, who I said smokes all Drew Estate, all sweet. So Drew Estate, she likes all of the Yummy Bitches range, the
Tabacs.
which, you know, most people know
Acids.
under the Deadwood Tobacco Company, but they really, I think they come from Drew Estate, right?
She's a huge
Yeah.
Rosa
So like
champion.
Isla, well, I'll get to that. Isla del Sols, Blondies, Cuba Cubas. She likes all those acid range. And it's really hard for us, because we both try, to break her out of that cycle of sweets. Yes? So one of the cigars that we haven't reviewed yet, which we will do a review on real soon, that she absolutely loves, that's not in that sort of sweet range, is
The Rose of Sharon.
Southern Draws Rose of Sharon. And she just loves that cigar.
You know what other one she loves too?
Go
But
ahead.
it's hard to get her hands on? That Roma Craft, that Candela. Don't tell her I have one more waiting for her at the house.
She does like that Roman Craft Candela, yeah. So, but Dwayne, who you've met on our videos, came out yesterday and he gave me this Wiseman box press. Now, I think it's called a Robusto, but to me it looks a bit long for a Robusto, but not tall enough for a Toro. Box press, the Wiseman from Foundation Cigars. And he said, Sal, you should try this. And as soon as she took a draw, and she was only this far in, oh my God, the caramel. That's what she said. And she's right. In fact, the hint on the notes on the front of this are just really nice, sweet caramel and cocoa.
Leathery.
Well, there's leather in there, and you've smoked it before.
Oh, this
I
is
think the leather comes in later.
No.
Oh, you're getting it now?
I got it on the cold draw.
On the cold draw.
But that's the beauty of it. Like, she said caramel. And when I came over the house over the weekend, she goes, hey, I tried the Wiseman and oh, the caramel. And she kept saying the caramel. And I'm like, I've never gotten that from the cigar.
Really?
Never.
See,
Never gotten it.
I get caramel from the front end of it.
But that's the beauty of it. Every palate's different.
Yeah.
Everybody's different. Every
Now-
person's different.
Oh,
Life is different.
for sure.
Cigars are different. Bourbon's different.
Now, these are box pressed. It's a very soft box press as far as the edges are concerned, but they're box pressed. If you notice the draw, what's the draw? I've had 3 now. What's the draw on yours like?
Smooth.
Smooth? Is it tight though, or is it?
It
really
is tight.
loose?
It is
It's
very
tight,
tight,
right?
yeah.
So you notice if you go to like the Drew Estates that she's used to, they're very loose in their
Yep.
draw. They're very light draw.
Well, not all of them, because I find sometimes I have to straight cut a Liga.
Yeah, well, I'm not talking in
You're
in
talking
that
about
range.
different-
I'm talking about the range that she smokes, which is
the sweets.
your acids and your sweets.
Yeah, those are
they're
very
pretty.
loose,
They're
yeah.
pretty loose straw, and so she wasn't used to as tight a draw this, and I had to open the end up a little bit more for her. I took it right down near the cap, and it was fine. But I noticed the draw on this is very. It's not, when I say very tight, it's not very tight by any stretch of the imagination.
You got to suck harder than you normally do.
But you do have to suck harder than you normally do. But as a result, if you don't suck hard,
You really got to dig deep to suck it out. Good practice for you. Look higher.
if you're one of those people that does little, you're not going to get this cigar going for yourself.
You gotta wrap those big ums around it and then give it a nice pull. Right?
Is that what you do? You pull?
Uh-huh.
Pull a lot?
Uh-huh.
Right, yeah. Payback's a bitch. Cheers.
Ooh.
Mm.
Something magical's happening here.
It's a beautiful cigar, I tell you.
I'm talking about the bourbon. There's something magical happening here. They're
Pairing
pairing.
wise.
Yes, this is unintentional pairing.
So this has got a bit of an edge that this doesn't have.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're working really nicely together. The Elwa Wednesday, I think this is smoother than the Elwa Wednesday.
Oh, definitely.
You literally just put down an Elwa Wednesday. It's still
Under protest.
it's
mind
still
you.
it's
Under
actually
protest.
still smoking in the ashtray.
I did not want to put it down. Nick, if you're hearing me, I did not want to put that
So
down.
back to back tasting, how is the Wiseman different from the Elwa Wednesday?
Oh, it's a step up. I think it's like a 3-step up.
Really?
Yeah, I think this cigar is. I mean, the Highclere Castle is their premium, right?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think I'd go out on a limb and
Have you had
say
the Maduro?
all of Foundation cigars would
Oh,
sit
great.
in premium.
Ooh, okay, I'll give you that one.
Yeah, see, even the Charter Oaks, which is what they would refer to as the bottom of their market, they're heads and shoulders above a lot of other cigars for the same price point.
Could you explain Head and Shoulders? Because it's a shampoo for me.
This is the head, and this is your shoulders. So if you're head and shoulders above something, it's like Siobhan standing next to you. She's 5'0". You're head and shoulders above her.
Could you say a step up?
I could, but I said head and shoulders.
Knees and toes? This is all I think about when you say that.
Mm-hmm. That's because you've got an 18-month-old.
Head, shoulders, knees and toes.
Can you reach your toes, bro?
I can, you can't. I can do a full split.
I know.
Yes.
Don't
Come on.
show us. Actually, if you want to see Bradley do the splits, like and subscribe, follow our Instagram, and we'll put it up there.
I'm down with that.
You down with that?
I'm down with that.
Yeah, let's talk about your broken bike.
Yes, and for the record, I
Oh,
did.
that's hard to say. Let's talk about your broken bike, Bradley. Oh, say that 3 times quickly. Your
Yeah, say
broken
drink
bike,
whiskey.
Bradley.
Say drink whiskey. Put up. So we went for a ride this weekend, but I didn't have a bike.
What happened to your bike?
The bike broke.
The bike broke.
Although you still feel I broke the bike.
No, I don't. I was never the one that thought that. Your friend, whoever told you, said
Zach
that you
told me
did
about
that.
the
But so basically, you
And you confirmed you confirmed the break.
Well, I confirmed that the bike wasn't working, but I didn't blame you for it.
You definitely did.
No.
You definitely did. You doubled down.
But your clutch stopped working.
Yeah.
I could put before you brought it over here for an adjustment. I could put it in the drive, start it up, drop the clutch with my feet on the ground, and not go anywhere.
I do know that, yes.
No brake,
Yes.
and it didn't stall.
Nope.
It just kept going.
Yes.
and didn't move.
Yes.
Clutch was slipping just a lot. But you were saying to me you're worried about the fact that I'm not going to ash this, I'm going to let it run. That you're worried about that you might be riding the clutch too much, which we have video evidence that you are.
This is true, yes.
But that shouldn't really affect the clutch as much as what that is. They're,
Nope.
they're a wet clutch.
As I've learned.
They're designed to slip.
As I know.
So it shouldn't really burn it out.
But I did it.
So how did you do that?
Apparently, there's a thing called a throw-out bearing that I didn't know existed.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% on what it does, but it's important.
Yeah.
And the guy who had it showed me a lot of metal shavings with it.
It's
And
to
so-
do with the way the shaft or belt, the belt drive works, and the power comes through the gearbox and onto the belt drive. But yeah.
Yes. And apparently, it's a known part that ends up failing at times. And what made it worse is I didn't know there was a problem.
So a little bit more research in your model in the
Street bug.
2019s, the new soft tail models. It's a little bit more apparent.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, your bike's had a stage 2 on it
This is true.
without an upgraded clutch, and so that's likely to put a bit of extra.
Strain. And a new
Strain.
rider.
And a brand new rider who's doing lots of slow practice.
And I have no idea what I'm doing.
And yeah, Yeah.
Yes.
So all of that combined to create metal filings in your gearbox.
See.
Not a good thing.
No. Shout out to Battlefield Harley Davidson. Thank you very much for taking care of me and getting me in very short notice too. Mm-hmm. And they ordered some parts, and they were going to take care of it.
And they identified that it was the throwout bearing. Yes. And I think they're going to cover it under warranty.
Yes, and shout out again to Battlefield Harley Davidson, because they could have just, they could put me against the ringer to make me pay for a new clutch and a new throwout bearing.
Throwout bearings aren't that expensive, but the work is.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting it all pulled apart and put back in again.
But he came out and took care of us. We officed remotely that day. Mm-hmm. It was beautiful.
Oh yeah, we worked.
It was raining. It was cold.
It was.
Why the F every time we get on the bike, it is cold or rainy. We rode on Sunday, cold and raining. We rolled up to Gettysburg, cold and raining. Rolled up to Gettysburg again, cold and raining.
Yeah, should call you the weatherman.
I told you can't do that because I'm half right half the time.
So's the weatherman.
Good point. But long story short, I got to ride Sunday, and I appreciate it.
So you've got to thank somebody else for that other than me.
Thank you, Sir Jeremy. I appreciate it.
Yeah, he doesn't know, but yeah. My son's bike is here. He's got a 2004 Super Glide.
Oh, so nice.
And because he's off at college, it doesn't get ridden a lot. So it's Bradley did him a favor and took it for a nice long ride.
I broke in the springs.
You broke in the springs. You want to tell us about that?
No.
What did you learn from our ride that day, Brad?
I had a number of lessons, none of which I'm willing to share without talking to Jeremy first.
No, you can do it.
Okay. So, lesson number 1. I'm pleasantly plump. You guys can see this. Dave sees this. Dave knows this.
Cuddly.
I'm what you would call a cuddly man.
Fluffy.
Yes, I am fluffy at times. I am quite a bit larger than your son, which you may have forgotten to adjust something, so some part on the bike that would have helped.
Maybe I should have adjusted for the extra 100 pounds of ride.
That would have been
in the springs.
I'm riding down the road, and all of a sudden, I'm riding position 2, which is to the right of you, which catches all the potholes. And all the drain covers.
That's why the senior rider always rides to the center.
I didn't know this. I don't know this stuff. I'm naive. But all I know is I get a lot of bumps on the right side of the road, right? And your wife, when she rides with us, she tells all the time. She's like, nope, I'm good in position 3. I don't know this, but position 3 is behind position 1.
Right.
So you get the road. I don't get the road. I didn't get the road. I got the bumps.
You got the bumps.
So I'm starting to hit bumps. I'm damn, my butt. And I don't know why, but my butt's hurting. All of a sudden, Dave has an epiphany. After we're done riding.
Well, no, it was after the little airborne moment.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So we found this really great road, and we're flying
More like
along.
the road found us.
We're flying along this road, and it's doing all sorts of twists and turns. And it was one of those roads that's got those really strange little humps in it that you just get a little bit airborne on if you're going the right speed.
Yeah, I went airborne. And then I bottomed out the bike. There was no springs. I had nothing.
You just went straight through them. I think the sag wasn't quite adjusted.
No,
properly.
definitely not. And that's when you had the epiphany of like, probably should have adjusted the springs on the bike. Brand new springs, which are now broken in. You're welcome, Jeremy.
So we stopped and we adjusted your springs.
You did.
And then you found the ride much more comfortable.
It was like a different bike. With springs.
And...
with shocks, I'm sorry, not springs.
Well, shocks, springs, shocks.
Same.
The shocks have got a spring, but we know what you mean.
Well, my ass got shocked. We had to stop for like 10 minutes so I can get feeling back in my butthole.
And what else did you learn that day? Something about red octagonal things.
Some stop signs
are red octagonal things.
Sorry, a red octagonal thing is sometimes optional, but sometimes not optional.
Sometimes they're really important.
Yes, and sometimes they're not.
And sometimes they're optional.
Sometimes you forget they're there, or sometimes you don't see they're there.
What can I say?
All of a sudden I see this. Oh, look at the beautiful farm. Stop sign. That's a beautiful view. Stop sign. Ah, shit, there was a stop sign. That one's optional.
And some of them that you can slow for, you don't need to put your feet down.
Exactly.
And some of them you got to stop and put your feet down. It's tricky. It takes a lot of skill to learn which one's which.
Yeah, it's the ones with the white around the edges that are optional.
The ones with the... I think they've all got white around the edges.
That's the joke.
Uh-huh.
Thanks. Learned that one as well. And learned how to turn on gravel.
Learn how to deal with gravel while you're in a turn.
Yeah.
So when you're leaning over, already in a turn, and you go, shit, there's gravel in the corner.
Yes.
What do I do?
When you say there's gravel in the corner, don't drop the bike.
Don't drop the bike. No.
That's what I learned.
No. So what do you do, though? Do you remember?
I do
You've been
remember.
practicing? Oh, you can't practice it. You don't have a bike at the
I don't have
moment.
a bike anymore.
But we will practice it again.
You
Keep your position.
and you move the bike.
You stand the bike up with your counter steering.
Yep, yep, yep.
So you keep your position. So you keep your position, stand the bike up, bring the bike back down.
Yep, yep, yep. To get more traction, to regain your traction.
So yeah, you want to do it when you see it before you lose any traction, because you're trying to stand the bike up for a second to go through the gravel, and then go back into your counter steer. So you're already in position. Your bike's already in the right position to continue the corner, and that way you just break your line a little bit. You don't.
It's like a reset button.
You don't break your line by sliding across the road.
Yes, I did that once.
Yeah, well, Jeremy's done that too. So that's a bit tricky.
See,
What did Black Dragon say the other week? There's two types of riders: those that have dropped their bikes and those that are going to drop their bikes.
I dropped my bike in the parking lot.
You did. I'm surprised you're bringing that up on camera.
It's part of the learning process.
Tell us what happened when you dropped your bike in the car park.
It is very much your fault.
It's my fault.
It is very much
Of course,
your fault.
it's my fault.
I'm in the parking lot in Gettysburg at the Outland Malls. Beautiful Outland Malls in Gettysburg. And it's a cold.
Yeah, that was the day it snowed on us.
No, it hailed. Ice rain.
Ice rain, whatever. It was white and it was falling from the sky and it was cold.
Yes, whatever it was. We're in the parking lot and we're getting ready to leave. We just smashed the Pepperidge Farm outlet store.
Smashed the Pepperidge Farm house. And the what do you call it? The beef jerky store.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
always good. And we're in the parking lot, and I'm all cool in my biker gear with my bike. I got my brother with me. He's lighting the bike up. He starts his bike to get it going in the cold, and I'm like,
I'm not on it yet.
nope, not on it yet.
Putting
I'm
it
not
on.
on it. I'm not on it yet either.
You're not on it yet either.
And Dave
Can't
starts
believe
his
you're
bike.
putting this out there for the world.
No, it's gotta go. He starts his bike. I'm like, oh, is that what we're doing? We should do that. Start my auxiliary. Bike won't start.
Bike doesn't start.
Bike doesn't start. Why isn't the bike starting, Dave?
You didn't say that.
I didn't say that.
If you had said that, I might have been able to save this.
Yep.
But in your head, maybe you thought, why wasn't the bike starting?
Hit the clutch.
Oh, right. Pull the clutch in.
Pull the clutch in.
Right.
And then let the clutch go.
And you pulled the clutch in and you started it while you're
started
standing next to it.
As I'm standing next
And
to
then
it.
you let the clutch go.
And then I let the clutch go.
What happened to the bike, Brad?
The bike went. And then in my air of all glory, found the friction zone. Bike didn't stall. And I hit that throttle. And I kept on the throttle. And tried to keep the bike up. Did not keep the bike up. The bike went down.
And what did your president say?
Don't forget, your bike's in gear.
I think before that it was, what are you doing, dickhead?
And then after you picked the bike up, thank you very much,
I picked the
graciously,
bike
very
up.
quickly. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. No damage to the bike, even though we
the engine guards. They're just
Yep.
a little bit of scratch on the engine
we just took the PVC off the bike.
guard. Just took
That
the training wheels off.
We're like, President goes, should probably take the little training wheels you got off on the bike. You're doing really well. Literally an hour later, I dropped the bike in a parking lot, not on the bike. And then every time since, you know what you do? AP1. Your bike's in gear. Don't pull the clutch in.
Well, just better to be safe than sorry.
I'm very appreciative of that.
Well,
Now, just the other day, we're in a parking lot. Hey, you're in gear. If you pull the clutch in, the bike's going to go. You know when that would have been useful? Before I dropped the
at
bike.
the outlets.
At the outlets.
All right, look, get a load of the construction on this cigar. It's just a really nicely made cigar.
The draw's getting better.
The draw does ease a little bit as you get further through it, which stands to reason. You're drawing through less tobacco. It's got a little. This one here's got a little bit of a wonky burn. The one that I had the other day didn't do that at all, but it's not a bad. It'll probably self-correct. I don't know how long this is. You've been ash. You tap away at your cigars, seriously, man.
I don't like to be covered in ash.
Well, you can leave it that long. I'm going to ash this one now.
Here's the
see how
Dave, you want to know the problem is?
See, that's still quite firm. I could have probably gone a bit further on that.
You want to know what the problem is?
You talk too much. You wave your hands around. You do with the whole it's Italian thing.
I'm ignoring you. When you're old and you smell ashy, you don't mind smelling ashy. When you're young and you smell fresh, you don't want to smell ashy.
I like ash. What can I say?
Big ash problems.
Big ash problems. So now the sweetness of it is dying off, and we're getting more of that leather that you picked up earlier, I think.
That very leathery taste. I'm not getting any nuttiness from this.
No, I'm getting more leather. It still has a very good, I'm going to say moist finish as opposed to a dry finish. You don't get left with that dry flavor in your mouth, dry feeling in your mouth.
It's wet all the way through.
It's wet.
It's a wet cigar.
It's a lovely cigar. I know as we get down towards the end, just like any cigar like this, it's going to strengthen a little bit. And I have to say, when my wife smoked it, and remember what she does smoke is very sweet. She got down just to the label and she said, I think I've probably had enough of this now. And she left it at the label, and she was feeling guilty about it. But I said, hey, it's your cigar. You finish it when you want to finish it.
And you do with what you want.
Yeah.
Honestly, there are plenty of cigars where I'm like, had enough. I do it as well.
But I do want to point out, this is the Wiseman El Wawense. It's not the same cigar with a name change. Some people on the cube have said they changed the name to make it more understandable.
And then why would they pump an El Wawense?
And that may be the case. Can you hand me the El Wawense label? I notice it's free there.
Yeah.
So this one is the El Wawense, the Wiseman. This one is the Wiseman El Wawense. Two different cigars, hasn't changed the name. It's just a different descriptor for a different cigar in the range. El Wawense literally means the wise man, right? Both beautiful labels. Seriously, Foundation Cigars labels.
And if you want to watch the review on that one,
oh yes, we've done a review.
That was a hilarious review.
We've done a big review on the El Wawense. It was a fun review to do, and we've also done the El Wawense 5-year anniversario, which is in the pig sort of roll, isn't it? What do you call it?
I think it's the flying pig.
It's called a flying pig roll. It's
like a perfecto.
It's like a fat perfecto.
Like me.
A perfect fat? Fat
No,
perfecto?
no, fat perfecto.
Fat perfecto. That's pretty funny. That could be your road name. Don't look at me in that tone of voice. What's funny right now is the brothers are sitting back on that WhatsApp discussing what your road name is going to be.
At least I provided you a plethora of material.
You provide a plethora of material. Yes, you do.
My old boss tells he's a huge cigar smoker as well.
Oh, is this the man down south?
No, that's another old boss.
He's another huge cigar smoker.
Life mentor. Shout out to Chad. He watches.
Chad.
Boss, an old boss of the company that I'm working for. He huge cigar smoker as well, and he used to joke all the time because I put myself out there. Like there are a lot of people. I grew up in groups playing sports or in military programs, stuff like that. So you're constantly in that brotherhood of, cutting it up, and you have to laugh. You have to know how to laugh at yourself, and that is so lost on this generation.
Oh, the snowflake generation?
Yeah, snowflakes in general, they don't know how to laugh at themselves.
No, everything's offensive.
Yes.
In fact, you get awards if you're more offended than somebody else.
Whatever, right? So, but you got to be offended at everything, right? Like, but you have to learn how to laugh at yourself. You have to have a good time and do stupid stuff. It's okay. Be yourself.
It's part of living.
It's part of living.
Yeah.
So, like, hearing that, I chuckle, right? But it's just part of me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a character.
Yes.
As your wife says, we're both characters. Right? Like, but that's who we are. Like, you have to own
My
who
wife
you
thinks
are.
I'm a character in a romance novel, though.
That is definitely not what your wife says. Is not accurate whatsoever. That is the furthest thing from the truth. But you are a character, and that's why you're the devil. Right? People think you as the devil as being mean, but you're far from that.
Yeah, I mean, I got a really nice day today. I had somebody in our industry on Sunday. I didn't actually see the post, but they called me today and we were talking about some business stuff, and I got told I had a shout out from them and thanks, gratitude of helping them in their career and their life and their family life and that. And it's beautiful.
And that's when I hear devil, the nickname you acquired, I chuckle because you're not a devil. You do have devil qualities. As I look at your daughter and chuckle as she's chuckling.
The devil's spawn over there.
She's definitely the devil's spawn. Name soon to be on a jacket. Proudly worn. Confusing. But you're just that character. If you think of the devil as a character, as its own person, that's you.
Yeah, have you ever seen that TV series Lucifer?
Yes.
I kind of like to think about,
That you as that?
Yeah, he's funny, easygoing, nice guy. He's just got a bad name. He's got a bad rap.
Your rap's pretty accurate, actually. The devil is fitting, but it's a character of sorts, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it's its own thing. Like, you own that. And that's the cool part about the names. And I'm kind of looking forward to what the group thinks, because there's a healthy group that doesn't know me very well.
Yeah.
Right? And you know me very well. There's a couple of our brothers that know me very, very well.
Yes.
And there are stories within itself, like even Ghost with the jumping over the fence thing. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like, there are tons of stories that are there.
Yeah.
And it's, you got to own what you are, right? Like, you got to be whatever it is. But as long as
that's the thing with a road name. If your brothers give you a road name, you just wear it. I mean...
Yeah, that's who you are.
That's who you become, and that's the thing. I mean,
it's permanent.
Ask Tiny about that, right, Tiny?
I'm sure Tiny was a poor example compared to F Cup.
F Cup, shout out to F Cup. Some well-earned road names.
That's a multi-modality road name. And Ghost, even Ghost is a beautiful road name.
Ghost,
Lestat, beautiful road name. Black Lestat, shout out.
Iceman,
shout out. Radio, Mr. Radio, shout out.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Radio, clearly, I mean, seriously, that man, he should be reading books for what do you call Audible. Mm-hmm. He's got the
beautiful low voice.
Yes, and a great face for radio too. There, Mr. Radio. That'll come back and bite me. All right. How are we going on this? We're easily over halfway through now.
I'm not going to put this out. This is going to go to the
nub. Not going to run it out.
I'm going to literally.
You're going to nub it?
I'm going to nub it.
Is there a foundation cigar that we don't know?
No, actually.
I don't think there is one. I think Nick Melillo just loves his cigars so much. You can tell that his cigars are...
We are men true to our word. This is an El Owense. I will be coming back to this El Owense as soon as I finish this. Because there's a lot here.
There's a lot.
This is like a full Robusto
He
for me.
complained bitterly about putting it out, but I said I wanted a cigar and we needed to start the review. So, but I think Nick Melillo really puts a lot of passion into his cigars.
And knowledge.
And knowledge,
and
for
experience.
Sure. Yeah. But I think that passion's really the important thing. You can tell when you get it a lot with the, I'm going to say, boutique lines, the smaller manufacturers or blenders that they've got a real taste profile that they're trying to work on. They're trying to really capture They're not just getting leaves together. And
I want to touch on that for a little bit.
Go on, go for it.
Because working in corporations, which you really haven't done.
Yeah, I have.
You have? It's been a long time.
Oh, actually,
Like big. I'm
no,
talking.
no, not big corporations
Like
like you're
Ford-
working. No.
I've spent my entire
I've been
career.
in small to medium businesses.
I've been in only large corporations.
Several international, but still classed as
Mom and
medium.
pop-ish.
Well, yeah, more or less.
Yeah, so I find it very hard. And, working in the industry that I work in, I work with other vendors.
Still entrepreneurial, I'm going to say, not mom and
beautiful,
pop-ish, but
beautiful.
Still
Very
entrepreneurial. Yeah.
Because they're still a face to the company.
Uh-huh.
It's not a board.
Mm-hmm.
I work for massive corporations.
Yeah.
And I work with vendors that help support my industry that are also massive operations.
Yeah.
It is harder to steer a cruise ship than a speedboat.
Mm-hmm.
And a speedboat, like a bike, you can steer a bike better than a car.
Yep.
It's easier to move the bike.
It's more maneuverable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can weigh and bow and pivot when you need to pivot. But in a big old truck, it takes a second. There's a lot of weight behind it.
Yeah.
And it's hard to straighten that cruise ship to get things right. So sometimes you make decisions to just keep the cruise ship going rather than maneuver it.
And so is this your analogy to explain big cigar manufacturers that sort of stick the same course all the time?
There's a massive operation.
And the smaller boutique companies and smaller new entrepreneurial companies that are really trying to get certain flavor profiles and maneuver.
I think what I'm trying to say is that companies can get too big. And you know what they do when they get too big?
They forget the people that are their customers.
They become bigger than the customer.
Yeah.
Because you seek those companies because they can provide services for a large scale.
Yeah.
And that's all they're good for is large scale services. Versus when you specialize in something, you can nail it. You can get it right. And if it's not right, you can fix it. When you're big and massive, you can't fix it so easy. It's hard to
So
turn shit.
interesting you say that because I'm just thinking about Plasencia.
Yeah.
Now, Plasencia, I think, breaks from that a little bit. I think Plasencia, they're huge in the amount of tobacco they grow and supply and ferment and for the rest of the market space. But their actual line is very small and quite precise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they learn to do it the right way.
So it's almost like they're a big company that's learning how to do it for, like the smaller guy does it. They're focusing on just their...
I mean, look at the brands we absolutely love. Romacraft.
Romacraft. Southern Draw.
Southern Draw.
Foundation.
Look at the lines that we've grown apart from.
I think I'm going out.
Look at Caldwell.
Davidoff.
Robert Caldwell.
Oh, Davidoff, I thought you were saying grow apart from, but Robert Caldwell's really good range.
It is a great range.
Yeah.
And, we're starting to experiment a little bit with Tatawahe.
So who makes San Cristobal?
Ashton.
So, you can't count out big cigar companies completely. They might brand under different things. So the San Cristobal range is a very nice.
Oh, they're incredible. But I'm just talking in general. Like I find myself more attracted to sometimes cigars that are for me.
Well,
I'll pick up a Davidoff.
It's a good example to what Drew Estate used to be and what they are now that they're owned by Swisher Sweet.
I think they've become too big.
I think they've lost the entrepreneurial focus.
Yeah, I mean, just as you grow bigger and the operation scales, you move further and further away from your consumer. And you become focused on driving the business versus what does my customer want?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the beauty that you've got to remember because that's the uniqueness. That's what makes you who you are.
Yeah.
And sometimes companies got to come back to that.
Yeah, good salespeople don't sell you what they've got. They sell you what you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what keeps you coming back is that person, you feel that connection.
But this High West whiskey, double rye,
All of their whiskey
is going, but this one's particularly going very nicely with this cigar. So if you're going to give this a try, and I suggest you do, give the El Huense a try. It's the red label Wiseman, the Wiseman El Huense, not the El Huense Wiseman. The red label Maduro, in a variety of sizes. I mean, we've got the box pressed Robusto here. I don't think it's a Robusto. I think it's too big for a Robusto. Give that a go, and when you do, get some of this. It's not an expensive bottle. What do these run at?
55.
Are they that much? I didn't think they were that much.
I mean, their
I
range
thought they were
goes
sub $50.
$45.99. Depends on
Right. Yeah, it depends on where you're at.
how
But
much tax the government takes.
that's going particularly nicely with this cigar.
I've never drank this whiskey and had a bad experience. And I've hit every whiskey in their line.
Mm.
I got a special release bottle
Of this?
of that
Yeah.
sitting at home.
Well, we'll have to do a review at your house.
That's a special occasion, dude. I
Special
like to
occasion.
cherish certain things, like feral pigs.
Like feral pigs. We need to do a review on a feral pig.
We will when Alex turns 2.
Mm. How old will that feral pig be when we do that?
That'll be 2.5 years.
2.5 years old.
No, I mean in my humidor, 2.5 years old. It's been aged for years from Liga Privada.
Sure. All right. So, have you got anything more to say about this cigar, or do you want to round it off and cap it off?
I'll box it out.
You'll box it out. You want to give us your last thoughts on this?
I'd have to say, if you're not ready for a heavy hit at night, but you want a nice nightcap,
Yeah.
if this is like you've only smoked 1 cigar for the day or 2 cigars for the day,
And you're not ready for one of your normal
heavy hitters,
heavy hitters.
like a Jacob's Ladder or
Oh, I had that last night. That was really nice.
oh, did you see
Southern
this?
Draw Jacob's Ladder.
Was it the size that I gave you or no?
Yeah, it was the one you gave me. Yeah.
Isn't it a cool size?
Oh, it's a
the
great
Bellicuso.
size.
Right?
Yeah, it's fantastic size. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm starting to like that torpedo-esque shape a lot more. But anyways, so I'd have to say this is a treat. I got to give this one of our shout-outs. This is always in my humidor.
So I got caramel on the front.
Yeah.
My wife got caramel on the front. You did not.
I did not.
And I think Dwayne Dwayne said he gets caramel from it, but he wasn't expecting the reaction that he got from Sally. So that's a taste point. But cocoa, definitely cocoa. Leather, like that.
Wet leather.
Wet leather. That. No, you remember when we say these things, they're not really tastes. There's things that
Smells.
There's smells, things that remind you of stuff, and it's not in a bad way because wet leather can smell really bad. But I like to think new leather.
Ooh.
New leather, like
I'll
that
take
new
that.
car smell, that
I
new
will take
car
that.
sort of nice leathery finish,
Fresh.
and not dry on the finish at all, or even right down here, it's starting to get a little bit heavier, a little bit stronger, but still not dry on the finish.
And I like this size. Whether it's a Robusto or Toro, the Churchill's great, but I feel like it's just sometimes a Churchill doesn't fit the cigar. This is one of them.
The drawer is tight,
Yeah.
not overly tight, but you can see that we're having to work it a little bit to keep them lit and keep them going. Yeah, need to do that. But it is tight, but it's not so tight that you're going to struggle over it by any stretch of the imagination. And it's not going soft at the end like a lot of cigars. You get down here and they start to get soft. It's holding together nicely. The construction, fantastic.
Yep.
So, out of 100, and this is totally arbitrary because I haven't really taken any notes or measured anything, but I'd put this in the high 90s.
So will Cigar Dojo, Cigar Aficionado, they all put it into the high 90s.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah, it's a very good cigar. Go out and get yourself one. And that's about all from me.
And that's about all for me as well.
We'll catch you later.